Namaste, this is Samta back with chapter 2 of the book Into the World of Light by my father Janardhan Chandorkar. I would like to remind you that I am addressing my father as myself and my grandfather as Tatya. Fall down 7 times, stand up 8 is a proverb. I was firm on the fact that no one can make me feel inferior. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I am possible. I was aware that to get started, I need to stop talking and begin doing. I told myself, knowing is not enough. You must apply. A thought of joining my father for daily work entered my mind. But how to convince Tatya was a challenge. When I opened the topic to him, he flatly refused. But I persuaded and I persuaded. I told him, Tatya, one Thomas Edison, a great scientist, has said that there is no substitute to hard work. Any work has dignity. The rich work and the poor work. The rich can live a better life than the poor, but he cannot live without the poor. Tatya was convinced. The next day, I was working with him in the scorching heat of the sun. My entire body was drenched in sweat. Much later, when I was studying for my degree, I referred Ruskin and other great thinkers on theories of headwork and handwork. They estimated the importance of headwork and better payment for it. But I, for myself, estimated the importance of handwork as I had experienced the sweat all over my body. The sweat did not give me sympathy, but the sweat charged and recharged me. Inner self was urging me to move forward. If you don't move forward, you will remain in the same place. One should trust himself, as trust has great potential. You should know that there is something inside of you that is greater than your obstacles. I was thinking that there are far more better things ahead of me than I have left behind. More than 60 years ago, we were not thinking of finances for education. After completing my matriculation, I required 20 rupees for my college admission. How to collect 20 rupees was a challenge before us. Tatya was determined and he was ready to sell 7 guntas of land in his possession for 20 rupees. Knowing this, my cousin Hausabai, who lived down the lane, lent me 20 rupees, which I returned to her after receiving my Government of India scholarship. With 20 rupees in my pocket and some belongings in the old trunk on my shoulder, I left my home early in the morning and walked barefoot a distance of 20 kilometers to reach Rukri. My elder sister Inda resided here. After dinner, I told her that Tatya was very happy to send me to Kolhapur for further education, but he was greatly disturbed when he could not arrange 20 rupees for my admission. When I told her our sister Hausabai had lent me 20 rupees, my sister prayed to God to bless her. Trains to and fro from Kolhapur halted here at Rukri. Next day morning, my sister accompanied me to the railway station to say, take care. On reaching Kolhapur, I stayed with my other sister, Shanta, and my search for a good college began. In my opinion, there is no aspect of reality beyond the reach of the human mind. My search for a good college ended with Raja Ram College. After independence, this college was taken over by the government of Maharashtra. It was the only reputed college in western Maharashtra. Men of eminence like Yashwantrao Chauhan were students here. I was very fortunate to get admission in this college and its hostel. Many students from backward communities similar to my background were admitted in the college and its hostel. We all admired Baba Saheb and loved him like a father. Over a period of time, we all became very good friends. Hostel rooms were not allotted on the basis of caste. There was no discrimination and the students were not caste biased. Rajaram College was constructed by Shahu Maharaj and it was named after his son Rajaram. The college building was a beautiful piece of architecture. The moment I entered the college premises, I remembered the great revolutionary. The Government of India has published a stamp and held him in high esteem. A social revolutionary, a true democrat, and a visionary, Shahu Maharaj was a multifaceted personality who thought and acted much ahead of his time. Compared to high school, here in college, the teaching methodology was different. A class was called a lecture hall, accommodating more than 100 students. Lectures were delivered in English, and the professors would hardly use the blackboard. Aristotle has said, "I am not a teacher, I am an awakener." Many of my professors fulfill these qualities of a good teacher. A good teacher explains, a superior teacher demonstrates, a great teacher inspires. A good teacher inspires hope, ignites imagination, and instills the love for learning. Plants are shaped by cultivation and men by education. The fundamental principle of education is to understand the truth. When I entered the college, I found myself educated but ignorant. To overcome my ignorance, a library was more precious than wealth. Whosoever claims wisdom or knowledge must become a lover of books. Shahu Maharaj was a legendary figure in the city of Kolhapur. Stories of his valor were viral. During off lecture, we used to sit in the college garden, and boys from Kolhapur used to narrate stories of his heroism. One such story is the story of the Vedokta controversy. A traditional priest of the royal family was a Brahmin. On one such occasion, Shahu Maharaj was having a bath in the river Panchganga when the priest was chanting Puranic mantra instead of Vedokta mantra. This was noticed by a personal aide of the Maharaj, and the priest was told to chant Vedokta mantra, to which the priest flatly refused, saying that Vedokta mantra can only be chanted for Kshatriyas and that Shahu Maharaj is not a Kshatriya. Prompt action, the Maharaj dismissed the priest and appointed a Maratha priest in his place. Education in this great city injected instincts of social change in me and my fellow students. As we all belong to similar backgrounds and were staunch Ambedkarite, we started getting closer and closer. Students from other colleges were contacted, a meeting was held every Sunday, and later we formed an organization called the Dalit Vidyarthi Utkarsha Mandal, of which I was a president for a very long time. Tatya had once told me that Shahu Maharaj and Dr. Ambedkar had a meeting in a nearby village called Mangaon. History has taken a note of this meeting. It was in this meeting that Shahu Maharaj had declared that Ambedkar would be a great leader and that he would eradicate the caste system from this country once and for all. The government of Maharashtra has granted a memorial on public demand. An announcement was made in the 2020 budget. I was present in the house and congratulated the government of Maharashtra. Friends, I was born in a remote village with no educational background as such. We spoke vernacular Marathi. My father was motivated by Dr. Ambedkar's movement. He gave me strength and support. His labor was not lost. I opted for English literature in my bachelor's and my master's. I studied English literature from the Anglo-Saxon period to the modern day English. It was not an easy task for a village boy like me. But with my father's blessings and Dr. Ambedkar's confidence, coupled with my hard work, conferred upon me master's degree in English literature. I was influenced by William Shakespeare, and I quote, "Just live for yourself, and before you speak, listen. Before you write, think. Before you spend, earn. Before you pray, forgive. Before you hurt, feel. Before you hate, love. Before you quit, try. Before you die, live." Thank you. Friends, this is my narration in a nutshell. For the complete story, please read the book Into the World of Light. Thank you.